right as like the ball was dropping, all of a sudden this video started picking up speed months after it was released. I think the thing with YouTube is like, it's a lot part skill and a little bit part luck. But if you're in it for long enough, you'll get that lucky break, right?
What's going on, guys? This is Eric Barbercraft here, and today I am joined by one of the fastest growing YouTubers in the space right now. I'm joined with MogSwamp. How we doing today, man?
What's up, man? How's it going? Did you say your name was Eric?
Yeah, Eric.
Mine too. Mine too.
Oh,
all right.
that's
You with a
crazy.
C or a K?
The only real way is C, man.
There we go. Thank you. Thank you. Brothers.
Okay, that's sweet.
Name
Some
brothers.
Eric brothers. Eric brothers, Craft brothers.
Yep.
That's how it is. Yeah, so, we already know your name's Eric. If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself a little bit further, Mog.
Yeah. I'm MogSwamp. Yeah, I'm most probably well known for the Superflat thing, which is kind of my niche that I've been going after in the Minecraft YouTube space. But yeah, I stream on YouTube as well, make videos, shorts on YouTube. I don't really do other platforms for now, but
Okay. Yeah, that's a sweet. I've really seen a lot of your stuff take off more recently. You are the MogSwamp, and one of my big questions is like, where does that name come from?
Yeah, I get this one a lot. Basically, I don't know if you ever had AIM. I don't know if I'm aging myself here, but me and my buddy on AOL Instant Messenger would go back and forth just like saying nonsense stuff all the time. And yeah, I started my channel back in 2012. I had already been making YouTube videos since 2007, but doing other stuff. I used to do like dominoes, other, animations, random stuff, horrible skits that, because I was like 11 years old. And eventually, in 2012, I decided I wanted to start this Minecraft channel. And so me and my friend on AIM just went back and forth, coming up with like just nonsense and like going like digging through. We had like written lists of our inside jokes, so we like picked through them. And one of the ones we had said was like Og the MogSwamp or something. It was just nonsense words. But what I was looking for was that if you Googled it in quotes, 0 search results would come up. So that way I knew that like to this day, if I search MogSwamp in quotes, all the search results that come up are generated by me and like my channel, my presence on the internet. So it's kind of like easy to track my digital footprint.
That's awesome, man. I love that. And that's very forward thinking of you because, I'm actually Barbercraft. My last name is Barber. Barbercraft sucks because of all the hair. Like, if you get a really cool hairstyle, like the barbers will call it a Barbercraft.
Barbercraft,
so it sucks, man. It's like super competitive. Like, I've just had beef with all these hair cutters, man.
On the bright side, I've been impressed. Like in the past few years, think about like some of the biggest names: Ninja, Dream. Like, how did those guys do it? Those are like the most common 5-letter words you can think of, but they beat the odds. So like, I mean, you could be the most famous Barbercraft if they could be the most famous Dream or those simple words.
I love that inspiration, man. Thank you.
Yeah. So.
Dude, before I even
two sides of the same coin.
Yeah, right. And before I even get too crazy into the interview, I mean, when you mentioned that domino thing, this is crazy because when I was a kid in like 2006 YouTube, I don't even remember if there were like these groups that you could join. Like they weren't like YouTube groups. Like YouTube had their own group thing, and the biggest ones
and you could
were
watch
for
videos together.
Yeah.
I was in I honestly, people ask me like about YouTube sometimes, and I always say that was like the best summer of my life was these YouTube groups with all the domino creators. It was like Flippy Cat and like Best Guy or Best Pal, Pal. And like all those guys, Anno Domino. There was like all these names back in 2007, and we all just hung out in this group watching videos all day.
It was so cool, man. Like,
we probably crossed paths, man.
That's what I was thinking, dude. Because like it wasn't huge either. You know what I mean? It was like a couple thousand in the biggest domino groups.
Yeah.
So yeah, dude, that's insane, man. And over the last year, Mog, I mean, you've had so much crazy success. Like I was looking at your Social Blade. And for months and months, like at the start of the year, it was like 5,000 some subs, 5,000. And then, just in the middle of 2022, you start flying up, man, in terms of views, subs. What happened, dude?
Okay. So I think the thing with YouTube is like, it's a lot part skill and a little bit part luck. But if you're in it for long enough, you'll get that lucky break, right? So I've been running this channel for 10 years. And once in a while in the past, I would get a lucky break. I had
Hmm.
like a tutorial video do really, really well like 10 years ago. I had like a furniture guide that I made back in like 2014. That got like 300K views. I got like had like a little music video parody I did like in 2017 blow up or what. But like I never had the know-how or the skill to be able to seize that moment because when you get that little lucky break from the algorithm, it's all about being prepared to drop everything and just like focus on grasping that moment because that's what can get the snowball rolling. But if you don't do anything, it just fizzles away really quickly, right? And so what happened was I finally got to 100 episodes on my Flat World. It's
Yeah.
the single player world, my Superflat world I've been working on for 10 years. And so I did a little world tour thinking like, oh, this might pop off. World tours usually do pretty well. So I like did a little research on how other people were titling their world tours and tried to copy that. And I put it up in August of 2021 and it just didn't really do anything
Hmm.
until New Year's Eve, actually, of 2022. Right as like the ball was dropping, all of a sudden this video started picking up speed months after it was
For
released. Like I
sure.
think like almost 6 months after it was released, right? And this time I was just like, okay, I think this is my chance. I'm going to like actually focus up on this and like I guess I had the main difference was like back in high school, there weren't a lot of people who like studied the algorithm like that. I think this new like Mr. Beast wave of YouTube is all about like learning the algorithm and learning what works. That didn't really exist back in the day.
Yeah.
People were kind of just like throwing darts, throwing
Sure.
spaghetti at the wall to see what stuck, you know? And so this time there were like Discord groups full of people with all this algorithm knowledge. And so as
Whoa.
soon as I got that little bite on that world tour video, I met someone who ran one of these algorithm servers. I started learning really fast. I would like throw my thumbnail into the Discord server and just creator after creator would just trash it. And I was like, oh man, I don't know
Yeah.
anything about this stuff. And so as soon as I started like paying attention, like anybody who's smart and like willing to sit down and learn this can get it pretty quickly. It's not like it's pretty, formulaic to a certain extent, which I think is a lot of people have a problem with that now on YouTube is that a lot of it feels a little bit formulaic, but there is like some secret sauce that just works.
For sure. And I love how you say like, the Mr. Beastification of YouTube or, post
Yeah,
Mr.
yeah.
Beast era. Because I was like studying your videos, man, and like, like one of your modern videos, like a video they uploaded 3 months ago that gets a million plus. Like I'm looking at it and I literally feel like I mean, of course, this is in no disrespect. Like, I feel like I could be like a dream video or a Mr. Beast gaming type of video. Just, and again, it's not because it's like a copy. It's just a lot of the same styles. Like, you cut a lot more. Like, it's a lot more
Yeah,
fast
yeah.
paced, and like stuff that you're doing. Like, I'm gonna carve out this super flat end, and I know, dude, I know that takes like tens of hours to do, but it's really like
Yeah.
4 seconds in your video, man, and even like the thumbnails, everything. I'm watching your old videos. Like I watched your video that was like 2 years old, and I'll be honest with you, it looked kind of laggy, man. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
So I knew like everything. Like it was like a night and day. So like when I,
Because back in the day we used to just kind of play for half an hour, like cut maybe twice and upload that. Like it was crazy. That was the video. And I think as like some YouTubers are sort of doing a more modernized version of that, which is like the Hermitcraft server and stuff, like
Mhm.
kind of hold on to that old school style. But mostly everybody else has had to evolve a little bit to like just keep people's attention really just like the internet's a different place now but you brought up that video where I destroyed the end and
Yeah.
I like to bring up this video as like a case study of like what changed in my thinking right because I really wanted to build a giant end base. And one of the things you have to do, or one of the things I wanted to do, was clear out the end island in order to make way for this base. But that I knew from watching other people's videos, that takes like 100 hours, like
Yeah.
minimum. It takes so long. So I'm like, I'm sitting here and I'm like, how am I going to justify spending 100 hours on something that like maybe I can make a video out of, but like people have done it before. It's not going to be very interesting. And so what I did instead of just like starting the project or like deciding to stream it or something, I sat for like literally a month and a half with my buddies, just like brainstorming every once in a while, just being like, what could I do? So that my first idea was, okay, I'll speed run it. I'll be like the first guy to speed run destroying the end island.
Hmm.
See how fast can I do it, like with a little timer. And then I
Yeah.
was like, oh, that's gonna be miserable. Like, am I gonna stay up for like 50 hours straight, like trying
Yeah.
to do this? So I didn't know, but then I was like, wait, we finally came up with the idea to rig it all to explode in one big explosion to get the record, right? Because then technically you
Yeah.
will have destroyed the
Yeah.
island in like 7 minutes or whatever it actually took. And so that was the angle I went with. And I think that's the biggest difference in my thinking is like instead of just doing something and then being like, okay, how do I make a title out of this? It's like start with the idea before you do anything. And once you have an idea that's catchy, then you can go and make the video, you know?
Yeah, dude, that's so smart, and I totally agree with you. I mean, that's even how I feel like your videos have kind of evolved over time. Like in the past, it'd be like, let's play Flat World number 67, you know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? And now, like, the titles of the videos, man, they're so, like, they just feel like its own unique concept and totally standalone to the point where, like, probably most of your viewers are people that have never watched your stuff before,
Right.
you
What you
know?
need. What you need. I think that's the problem is like you can get stuck in like how do I please my existing audience because they're the ones giving you feedback in the
Hmm.
comments. They're the ones saying what they want to see. But you're not always thinking about how do I get the new people, right?
For
And so
sure.
I've had to like change and sit like cuz for years I was getting feedback from people who were already fans, but they're not like they're you already have them, right?
Yeah.
So like the hard part's getting everybody else.
For sure. And when it comes to your like idea creating process, because I know some YouTubers they just have like a list of like 100 ideas, and then it's like video time, like time to go through the list, pick one, or is it really like I'm inspired to do this video, now it's time to pump it out, or where's the idea even come from?
I think that's what makes my channel a little different is like most YouTubers I know that like the conventional wisdom that was given to me is like come up with 10 ideas a day and like do like come up with like big ideas and then like pick from your list. Eventually you have a list of hundreds and you can pick out the best ones and just do those, right?
Hmm.
I tried that for a little bit and it just like it didn't seem to work for me. So like for example, I one of my videos I made, which I'm proud of this video, I built a giant creeper that actually exploded and the idea came from like me being like, what do people want to watch?
Yeah.
And but like at the end of the day, even though I'm really proud of the video and how it turned out, like I just never would have built that in my world on my own. And I
Yeah.
think at like on some deep molecular level that comes across, you know what I mean? And so instead, like what I started doing is I just start with what I really want to build for my world because I've had ideas for my world for years. That's what I've been doing now. So like another example is I had this huge harbor project and I wanted to build like this big ocean thing. And I had no idea like I built an ocean just doesn't really it's not that interesting.
Yeah.
It's like a
I
hard
agree.
sell. And so it took me a long time to be like, "Oh, no, the interesting part about this is that it's under bedrock." I can be like, oh, I built it like in the void or like I built it under bedrock. That's the interesting angle here. So it's all about just finding ways to spin it for me. Whereas
That's
I think
dope.
a lot of other people are like, pyramids, planets, spaceship, and they just go down the list and like figure out what
Yeah.
is it today. I do what I follow my heart, but then I figure out how to market it before I go for it.
That's dope. I love it. And I really do think it does show in the content as well. And, Mog, earlier you mentioned like kind of with your niching, like, like how you occupy the flat world niche. And I noticed on your channel that like, you mentioned that you had a lot of success with tutorials in the past. But I feel like right when you started blowing up to get like huge, huge, huge over the last 7, 8 months, I feel like that sort of traditional tutorial content that you've done a long time, like I feel like that kind of got phased out. Like I don't think you've
Mhm.
done any in the last 7, 8 months. Is that part of the like you? Is it because you want to dive all in on this super flat world niche, or is there like another reason why the tutorials sort of got phased out?
Well, yeah. So like, I guess I realized pretty early on that like tutorials about Superflat are only going to apply to people already interested in Superflat, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I decided to make them early on because like they would only apply to a small amount of people. So I like basically get them over with,
Yeah.
right? But then they get to sit there forever. And the more people I can introduce to the idea of Superflat, the more people are going to go back and watch those tutorials. Like they're good
Sure.
forever. And
Yep.
like I was building up like a community in my Discord, and I was getting the same 5 questions over and over again. So I was like, okay, real quick, I'm going to do a tutorial for all these things that like people are constantly asking. And then once that's over with, I can like start really pushing like my main world, or like the structuralist super flat 100 days I've been doing with my friend, and like pushing those videos, which then get people interested in super flat and send them back to the tutorials. So
Mm,
it's kind of like
the
it,
little
it,
self-serving loop.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So, and I mean, a lot of it is just I enjoy doing the normal videos more than the tutorials. Tutorials are a lot of work. Like they take way more research, and you got to figure
Yeah.
out. You got to be a good teacher. It's like writing a curriculum, like,
Yeah.
you
I
know what I
feel
mean?
you.
Versus just like building something and then telling a story is just a little bit more fun, you know? So I kind of just got them over with, and now like I almost see every single video I do on Superflat as like an advertisement for Superflat as a whole, which
Yeah.
then feeds back into those tutorials. Because I think I realized early on that there was a potential that I could be like the Superflat guy, and I wanted to seize that before anybody else could, because we've seen how other creators have reaped the benefits of that. Like, Dreams, the Manhunt guy,
Yeah.
Phil's is the hardcore guy. Like those people that have managed to like really be the first in a niche, like kind of go down in history. You know what I mean? So I was like, oh, if I can just like jump on this, I don't know if Superflat will ever be as big as those other things, but at least I can be the guy, you know?
Sure. And that brings me to like a couple things. Like for one, like I kind of know what you're saying about the tutorials because like on like my channel actually like I had a lot of success making like I had a server, so I made like tutorials on like plugins,
Hmm.
right? And
Hmm.
then that like you're right, those videos are evergreen. Like people will always tune into them, but it's like limited because not every Minecraft player wants to know about plugins. It's only people
Right.
that want to be server owners.
Like
So
if it
yeah,
shows up on the homepage and you're not actively searching it out, you're not going to click on it
for sure,
because it
for
doesn't
sure.
apply to you, right? And if you look at a video that goes viral, the percentage of people who searched for that video is like tiny, tiny, tiny.
Yep.
So like search engine optimization almost doesn't matter that much with YouTube videos. Really, the only reason to do keywords is more to get in suggested pages. So like if you do 100 days or hardcore, you're going to be suggested alongside all the other popular 100 days and hardcore videos. But in terms of like people actually typing in the search bar, that's such a tiny, tiny fraction of YouTube watchers that it's better to go after the homepage, you know?
Hmm.
And so, yeah, you're right. Those tutorials are evergreen, but they're never going to be viral. There's a
Right.
huge difference there.
And I think something as well. I'm sure that you noticed is I feel like like when you make tutorials, people don't subscribe in like that
Mm.
kind of mass quantities because they're like I got what I needed. Like I don't need to watch this guy anymore. You know what I mean? And
Unless you're just like the best at tutorials. I think like
yeah,
there are a few breakout examples, like ENXO4. I think even though but again, he's not like super viral. He's just more well known because his designs are so solid. But like unless you're like the absolute best at at doing
yeah.
tutorials, it's really hard. Yeah.
For sure. And I've also seen your thumbnail quality and I already mentioned your whole video quality like super ramped up. Like I'd say like and a compliment like 1,000 times better
Thanks,
than
dude.
over like the last 2 years. And I guess something that I'm curious about, like at some point, did you like hire an editor and like a thumbnail guy, or is it like I gotta like just figure all this out myself? You know what I'm saying?
You know what's crazy is like I kind of always had the skills because I learned Adobe like in middle school.
Uh huh.
Graphic design was kind of my career before YouTube. I studied animation in college, so I like always had the chops to do
Yeah.
that stuff. It was just, thumbnails and editing were an afterthought. Like I was just so in that 2012 mindset where a let's play used to be 90% playing, 10% editing. And
Hmm.
now it's almost it's 50-50, if not 50, 40-60 with 60
Sure.
being editing. Like the amount of time I spend editing now is like crazy compared to it just used to be I just played and then uploaded it. And but yeah, it's funny because like you can go back on my channel, and I was always interested in animation. So you see these like I would have like little series in like 2012 of me like playing with my brother, and it would have like this crazy intro done in After Effects with all these particles, and then there's like two cuts in the whole video, and it's like what
Yeah,
the like the 2012 intros I'm talking
for
about. They're like
sure.
10
They're
seconds. There's
like
like dubstep
dubsteppy.
music,
Yep.
blat, yeah, yeah. Except I was like using Kevin McLeod,
Oh,
royalty free
okay.
jazz music instead. But
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And Super Flat World is 100% your niche. That's your lane. I mean, for me, like I that's never been my lane, man. Like I'd load up. Like I think I only accidentally started playing Super Flat World on survival. I'm like, this sucks, dude. And
yeah.
I'm like, for one, like I know it's like 10 years back, but like where were you like, dude, I should be playing this? Was it like another creator that inspired you, or you're like, I gotta do something with this?
I think it was like just back when Superflat came out. It was I think in 1.0. Hold on, my cat.
Oh, you're good.
So yeah, I think it was when Superflat came out. I want to say it was like 1.0, like when it moved from beta to a full release.
Yep.
They introduced the Superflat game mode somewhere around there. And I don't know if we saw it on Reddit. We probably saw it on Reddit, like our Minecraft or something, but people realized you could like try surviving on there. And so me and my friend, the same one who helped me pick out my channel name, just, in AIM chat, like hop on a super flat world together and just like tried to beat it. And it's really, really, really similar to Skyblock. And back then, I just like didn't super download maps from like
Okay.
Planet Minecraft or anything. So I had never really tried Skyblock. I'd seen videos of it,
Hmm.
but I'd never tried it for myself. And in my head, this was like Skyblock, but built into the game. I don't have to download anything from
Yeah.
some website, right? And there's like, there's an official version. There's 100 versions of Skyblock. It's like, which
Right.
one's the real one, right? This was like built into the game, official Mojang, right? And the one difference is instead of constantly falling or having to build platforms, the platform's already there. But everything else is basically the same. It's very, very similar to Skyblock. So, for the same reasons people like that challenge, I just fell in love with it. But it always kind of baffled me over the years how it never caught on because, like I said, it's so similar to Skyblock, except with Skyblock, there's that barrier of having to download something, find a server to play on. What's the official version of it? You know what I mean? I liked Superflat because it's
Yeah.
like there's a standard here.
Dude, you're a crazy dude. Like I just don't have that thought process. You know what I mean? Like you breaking it all down. I've never once thought of it like
I've spent a lot of
Skyblock
time thinking
or
about it in the
anything.
past year.
You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah.
really cool. And I've also seen part of your growth as well. And I'm not sure exactly why you do this, if it's to engage with the community better or if it's still a growth play. But I noticed over the last 7 months, concurrently while you've been on this crazy astronomical growth, is you've been doing live streams.
Mhm.
Um and I'm not sure like how long you've been doing them, but I know they've been more frequently over this 7 month period.
Mhm.
So like where did that come from?
Yeah, I mean, I was always interested in live streaming, but I used to do it on Twitch. And
Okay.
I think back before this year I was stuck at 5K subs from like I think 2015 to like the beginning of last year.
Yeah.
So there was like a 7 year stretch where I was just stuck at 5K subs. So I always like had a few people watching, but it was so hard to move them over to Twitch, right? And I just realized at some point that if I live streamed on YouTube, I could pull in more of those people because like they've been subbed to me for years and they would
Uh-huh.
like see it pop up and be like, "Who's this again?" and like join the live stream. And then so I was having fun doing live streams in 2020, like the height of COVID, basically. And I just kind of fell in love with like live streaming as an experience. It's just really fun interacting with the community in that way. And so I've just tried to maintain a once a week live stream just to connect with people. Like it really doesn't matter to me if I make any money off the live streams or not. I just want to like have that like chat interaction with the
Yeah,
audience because I think it keeps me motivated and gives me a lot of ideas for my world.
for sure.
Because that's one of the number one questions I get is like, dude, how have you been in the same single player world for 10 years? And I think the live stream is actually a big piece of that. Is like whenever I'm streaming, people are constantly coming up with new ideas for things to put in a way that like you just don't get from the comments, and like people you can have a conversation with people. And yeah, if you have constant ideas for your world, you never get bored. So
That's super cool, man. I that definitely like goes both ways. So that's really cool. That has positively benefited you. And two, man, dude, 5,000 subs for 7 years. That's amazing that you have that kind of grit because I feel like so many times do people quit like
mm.
way before anything. I know
Or
like
if not quit, like a lot of times I thought like, dang, like do I need to start a new channel? Like is this channel like after so many years of being stuck, is the algorithm gonna be like, nah, this is a dead
I
channel?
know,
Like I
yeah.
had all these doubts about that. I just want to tell anyone listening, if you have like that sort of stuff, like the algorithm's not like some crazy like robot overlord. Like if you make stuff that people want to watch, like it can happen regardless. Like I think my channel is a good proof that like all that stuff about like shadow banning and being like worried about like, is my channel dead, like all that stuff, I would just forget it because like I don't know, at least for me that wasn't the case.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
I think you can really get in your own head about that stuff, and it's like that, just keep making better videos.
for sure. Because it's literally like if you're to ask yourself like, ooh, on the 6th year I'm at 5,000 subs, should I quit? Like maybe, you know what I'm saying? But now if you're to ask
Yeah.
yourself, like you knowing you now with hindsight being like, should I have quit in 2021? It would be like, hell no, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
it would have been the
that.
worst mistake of my life. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's cool. And I also love how you keep everything on like YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not really I haven't really seen you plug a Twitch or anything. It's all on YouTube. And I think that's really cool. I think you hopping onto it was really cool as well because YouTube recently organized their channels to where your lives and your other stuff's a little
Oh,
bit separate.
I was just waiting, dude. As the second they did that, I was like, I'm gonna start making shorts now. I was just waiting for that one little change, and I
And
used to have to
yeah.
unlist my live streams. I can
Uh,
keep them public now. It's
awesome.
so nice.
That
It's so good.
it is cool, man. And that's what I was meaning to ask you about as well. I mean, you are like in many ways in an awesome way an anomaly because I'm also looking at your channel too, and I see a lot of these. Like I feel like some of the biggest Minecraft people right now are pushing the shorts so
Mm.
freaking hard, and you have 4 shorts up total, and they all do well. But I'm like, man, because like the way you edit your videos, like they're so fast paced. I honestly feel like you could take any part of a lot of your videos these days, and it'd be its own short. So I guess I was wondering, like, where the are you gonna make more shorts?
Yeah, so I think a lot of people who are getting into content creation are a little bit younger than me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm 26, right?
Yep.
So my number one priority was like, how do I make this a job as soon as possible? I hated the 9 to 5. I hated my job. Like even though like I liked my job as much as I could like a job, I just hated like working. And
Sure.
like I'm a very creative guy. Just like I couldn't be me at work, right? So I was like, how do I get out of this as fast as possible? And long form is where the money's at. I think a lot of people are a lot younger, and shorts and like reels and TikTok, all that stuff is a lot worse on money, but it's
Yeah.
really good for getting you the clout, the audience really, really fast. Um, and for me, that wasn't as important. Like now that I'm like making enough money, now I can be like, okay, should I try making shorts and TikToks? Now I'm like kind of like starting to dip my toes in a little bit. But my priority was like, okay, I have to do what's like the most financially sound because I just want to get out of my job and focus on this full time. And I think a lot of people who are younger can sort of be like, nah, like I'm still in school.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a whole big audience, and then I can worry about making the money later. You know what I mean? And I think either strategy is good. It's just I'm a little bit older, so my path was like long form. And I think the other thing is I just understand long form really well. I don't really
Mhm.
watch TikTok or shorts or reels
Okay.
too often. I'm kind of like I'm 26, like I'm
Yeah.
on that like millennial zoomer line. So I watch a little bit of it, but I've been on YouTube since, forever, my whole life. So I just understand it so much better.
Okay, that's dope, man. And I'm I'm actually 24 myself, so I can really like empathize with a lot of what you're saying. And I just want to get one thing straight. Like, has your content like been so successful now that you're actually like this is your job, or are you still currently working
Yeah.
that 9 to 5? Dude,
Yeah, so
that's
I was able to quit before. I think I quit around 50K subs. But I wasn't making enough to like really be stable yet. But I took the leap because I had a little bit in the bank, a little bit of savings. So I did the calculations. I was good for like a little under 12 months to just run off savings. Obviously, you don't want to take out of your savings,
yeah.
but just in case the worst happened, I was good. And then the bet paid off because the second I quit my job, the next month I had the best month I ever had on YouTube to that point in time, and it just went through the roof because I was able to focus. Oh, dude, you have no idea. It's not just the 40 hours a week at the job. It's also like you're taxing your brain and your body doing whatever you're doing at work,
Hmm.
and you're just not as creative, not as like ready to put in all that energy outside of work into like something like a YouTube channel. The second I quit my job, it was like the video quality improved and just everything improved, and so yeah, it was a really good gamble, but obviously I only did it because I had enough
Yeah.
savings to last me about a year in case the worst happens. So
That's dope, man. And I should sincerely want to congrats you again because that's like a lot of
yeah,
people's dreams. And it's really crazy how you mentioned that because it's like double like cool because like you were able to achieve that while you're working your job because like the majority of successful like content creators that I meet, like especially the hardest one, at least from everyone that I've talked to, has been like Twitch. Like no, there's no way like someone who works like a 40 hour a week job can grow on Twitch because everyone tells
nah.
me you got to spend like every day like 8 to 12 hours to sustainably grow
It's
for
an
a
insane
while.
grind. Yeah, you
Yeah,
got to take a leap, and like, unfortunately, the ability to take a leap comes with a lot of privilege. You know what I mean? And that's
yeah,
like, I think the part that's like, uh, hard for a lot of creators to acknowledge because it takes so much skill and hard work and know-how to get here. But at the same time, like a lot of times it takes the ability to like quit your job a little earlier than most people would be able to, you know what I mean? Or
yeah,
like have that energy after work to put into it. Or in my case, like, my parents worked in the like in computers in the 90s.
sure.
And so they always had like a hand-me-down work laptop. And so, I started learning Photoshop when I was like 6, just from like, that was my MS
Wow.
Paint, just like messing around in Photoshop on my mom's old work
Yeah,
computer. You know what I mean? So like I had that head start. Like everybody's got their little like, head starts, but no, I think if you're smart, like YouTube's I think the best one out of all the social media out there, out of every get rich quick scheme there is,
yeah,
crypto, gambling, whatever your thing is, I would just do YouTube, dude. It is. I think it's the most. It's like the closest thing to a get rich quick scheme that exists in the world right
yeah.
now. I personally like. What I learned was like I was just doing the same thing for 10 years, not thinking about it. And the second I started studying the algorithm, I had results. Like it's really like it's really it works. It works.
That's crazy dope, man. And with that YouTube thing, dude, you're speaking facts. I mean, right now, every social media platform that I've seen, like, is trying to catch up to YouTube when their video,
Yeah.
like, Musk's like, dude, we gotta have, like, more video and pay out creators, all this stuff on Twitter, and, like, TikTok introduced revenue sharing, like, because, like, no duh, like, that's what YouTube has been doing. So,
Yeah, I mean a lot of these tech companies, I think, don't actually generate a lot of money. So they like are trying to grow really fast, but in some cases can't actually even afford to treat their creators super well. I
mhm,
mean, you can always treat your creators better, don't get me wrong.
yeah.
But like, you know what I mean? Whereas like I think YouTube has just been around for so long. They like grinded through like all the DMCA battles of like the early 2000s and like figured
Mhm.
all that stuff out so much earlier than a lot of these other companies that they're just way ahead of the game in like actually paying creators well and making a living off the site. I mean, I have a lot of friends with hundreds of thousands TikTok followers, hundreds of thousands of Instagram followers, and it doesn't really amount to
It's
a lot for
nothing.
them, which it's really really sad. And so I'm like, dang, I just like that's why I try to help as many people as I can, learn YouTube. I don't know how long this will last, but right now it's like a really good way to like, be your own, not an entrepreneur. You're not gonna be rich, but you can make a living, you know?
Yeah, for sure, man. And you had one of the most successful 2022s for like a YouTuber that I've seen. Um, are you the kind of guy that makes like New Year's resolutions, stuff like that?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
have
let's
some
hear 'em.
goals. Yeah.
Yeah, let's
I
hear 'em.
mean, I mean, 1 million this year would be pretty crazy. I think maybe I could do it. That's I think 150K a quarter to get to there by the end of the year, and I,
Mhm.
I think I could do that. I'd need to have a couple bangers, but it's
Bro,
it's possible.
I think you're gonna hit 1 million by the time this interview comes out, man. Like no lie,
Uh,
you got the growth. I mean, you're riding the algorithm, man. And
it'd
then
be pretty
just
cool.
promise me when you hit 1 million, we'll do a million
Yeah, we'll
celebration
do a follow
interview.
up.
Yeah, and you'll have
Yeah,
the gold plaque in the background.
yeah, right over
Oh
the yeah.
yeah, that'd be
Um,
sweet.
And then yeah, just like figuring out how to like make an LLC. I got to get all that business side figured
Oh
out.
yeah,
Like, my best friend from college who studied animation with me, he's kind of like trying to do some editing for me. So I got to like fill out 1099 forms. There's taxes, man. There's like all
ooh
that stuff to figure out. So
yeah,
that's one of the New Year's resolutions is like make it a real
big
business. And then I think the third one would be like starting to think about not necessarily doing, but at least figuring out like what direction could I take it in terms of like merch, selling my artwork, monetizing a Minecraft server. What's some other income stream just in case the views stop coming for a little bit. The channel falls on hard times because, that stuff happens. YouTube is a fickle beast. And I think like if that ever happens, I've proved to myself I can grit it out and eventually figure it out again and stick through it. But if there are hard times like that, I'd love to plan and have some other revenue source, just in case. So I don't have to go back to the 9 to 5.
yeah, dude, for sure. And I mean, I'm just gonna throw out a suggestion to you, with that whole monetization thing, because actually, I don't know if you've really heard, but there's a lot of like Minecraft conventions that go on in the United
Mm-hmm.
States. There's like Minefest coming up in April and
Yeah.
Minevention in early May. And they're all really good people. Like I've been to a Minefest before actually as one of these guys. And if you I don't know how well you know these other Minecraft YouTubers like Beck Bro Jack, Xylophony Games, and I don't know. Like Beck Bro Jack's in like a
There's
couple
so many,
million.
dude.
Yeah, dude, that's another big thing,
Dude,
man.
the crazy thing about YouTube nowadays is every day, almost every week, I find a new Minecraft creator with over 1 million subs that I've never heard of. And I just
Yeah,
remember the days when I knew every single YouTuber with a
for
million
sure.
subs because there was
For
like
sure.
three of them. It was like Smosh, Fred, Ryan Higa. Like
Those guys are
that
the
was
goats.
it.
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh my God, there's so many I can't even
They're
keep
literally
track
a
anymore.
dime. Like, cause even when I was telling my buddies, I'm gonna interview a Minecraft YouTuber, and they're like, "Oh, like Captain Sparkles." It's like, bro, like
I,
that guy's not even like. Well, he still makes stuff, but like I don't know, like Sky does Minecraft, like off the face of the earth now. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, it's funny. There's
So
like generations now of Minecraft YouTubers.
yeah, man.
That's the joke. That's the joke I get a lot in my like, cause my world's been going for 10 years. They're like, dude, you got to pass this world on to your kids. Like,
Yeah,
maybe then your grandkids like, oh, my grandfather built this building like in my
yeah.
right,
That definitely.
like
Yeah,
walking around, he's still
that
making YouTube videos.
that'd be sweet. Kind of like something like the Truman Show or something. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. It's all
Yeah.
gonna be in VR, and there's
Oh
like
yeah.
microtransactions everywhere throughout the world. Yeah,
Well, that solves your monetization dilemma.
yeah,
You
yeah.
just got
Exactly,
to hold
exactly.
out enough for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you ever think that like at least in your ideas, are you ever like thinking like, man, if this super flat like falls off, like will you ever like transition into something else? Because like I saw your old like several years ago, and you were like playing Castle Crashers and stuff like
Yeah.
that, or
Yeah, dude, there's hundreds of videos on my channel that I just unlisted because they're super old and embarrassing. I was like
oh,
15. But no, I used to play all sorts of games on the channel.
mhm.
Um, I don't know, it would be tough, man. Like I think where I would pivot to is probably non-video games. Like I think I've shown like drawings in my videos in the past, and people seem to show interest in that. So I probably just take it in an art direction because that wouldn't be dependent on whatever's cool. Like I
Yeah.
don't think I'll ever abandon Superflat, but I think if Minecraft as a game ever loses popularity, I would definitely have to like try and make something else work. I have thought about that, and it would probably just be art, you know. There's
Okay.
like those craft channels where
Yeah.
they make like little scenes out of trash, you know, like the dude built like Howl's Moving Castle out of trash. Like there's all these little craft videos. I'm like, I could do that,
Yeah.
right? Because like I studied art in college. I used to do like I do little dioramas for some of my videos sometimes.
Right.
So I'm like, yeah, I would just try to do like I would make it some little craft channel. I would, you know, with the YouTube know-how, I could probably make it work, maybe.
I saw that because I saw on your Instagram, it's a lot of your drawings, right? A lot of your
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
illustrations. That's
Yeah,
awesome. Yeah.
yeah. I think 2020, I did Inktober, which is where you draw every single day in October, and I did Minecraft, so I did a Minecraft build every day. That was a lot of fun. So yeah, my subscribers have seen my drawings here and there, and they seem to like it. So I'm like, yeah, if
They're
anything went
sweet.
south, I could do some art YouTube channel. Hopefully, I
Okay.
can make that work. It'd probably be harder though. Minecraft is gets good views.
Minecraft's insane, man. I mean, that's something that what when did this start? Like 2009? Um,
Yeah,
right?
2009, but like it really wasn't a thing until 2000 like 11.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's absolutely crazy. And you're there almost as like early as it gets. So
Yeah, I started playing I think 2010 and then the channel started in 2012.
I know, and I was just talking about this with someone else. It's like, you know, in earlier like eras of gaming, like for instance, like Pac-Man, then there's like Miss Pac-Man, or like the Mario's, there's Mario 2, Mario 3.
Right.
Like I remember when I first like Minecraft first came out, like in 2014, people were like, "All right, time for Minecraft 2," but like we hit this crazy and like blessing for all of us that like games like don't get like really so much get sequels anymore. They just get updated
It's kind of the
infinitum.
Minecraft model, right? Is
Yeah,
like they've
yeah,
just kept it relevant for I think Minecraft invented a lot of things. I mean, like in a lot of ways like Fortnite is Minecraft too.
yeah,
Hear me out. Hear me out. Fortnite stayed relevant for a long time because they kept updating it like, you
yeah.
know, weekly, monthly, right? So it had that element of it. And as well Minecraft kind of invented Battle Royale. Like
Hunger Games.
those Hunger
Yep.
Games servers back in the day were like kind of the first thing that seemed to inspire PUBG or not PUBG, but the DayZ, the whatever mod inspired PUBG.
Yeah.
It kept going until eventually we landed at Fortnite. But you know, no, like a lot of the things that make modern games like Fortnite work were kind of invented by Minecraft, or at least popularized, like really proven by Minecraft. It's a crazy game. I say it's the best game of all time, but
I'm with you there. Just with like how flexible and robust it is, and
it's kind of cheating, right? It's kind of like it's more of an engine than it is a game. You can really do anything within Minecraft. You can build other, you know, you could build Pac-Man within Minecraft. So how can Pac-Man be better than Minecraft? You know what I mean? So it's like it's almost cheating. It's like Roblox or something where it's a game engine.
yeah, no doubt, man.
Never played Roblox though.
Me either.
That
I feel like
people
that's
keep
like a
telling
little
me
bit
I have
after
to
us.
try it, so I don't know.
That's dude. If Superflat is ever out, dude, Roblox will be.
That's what I'll go do next. Yeah.
Yeah, man. And so now we're getting closer to the end. I'm just giving you some super quick, like interest based questions.
Hmm.
So what kind of games do you enjoy outside of Minecraft?
So yeah, I'm like kind of a weird gamer. I
Uh
was
huh.
only ever really interested in like things with a really big creative aspect to them. So like I grew up playing Roller Coaster Tycoon, Zoo Tycoon. Like I only ever went after games with like a level editor. So like the few shooters that I loved, Far Cry Instincts Predator for the Xbox 360 and Halo 3 for the Xbox 360, like both had those crazy level editors, which is why I got really into those. So like almost any game I've ever been into in my life has that same element of like make your own thing. So like Viva Pinata, Animal Crossing,
Oh,
Stardew Valley, all those kind of games. I'm just like a sucker for the creative games.
dude, that's awesome. Like, dude, I feel like you and I are like differently wired because like that's just the like I don't know. I just could never get into those games, but at the same
Yeah.
time, we're like two like Minecraft fanatics, man. Like that's what's so cool
Yeah.
about it.
Well,
'Cause-
that's what's cool about Minecraft, right? Because
yeah,
it also has like, the explorers can go explore, the like
yeah.
technical people can go build their redstone machines, like the creative people can build houses, like and it's cheating. It's a game for everybody.
Yeah, exactly, dude. And I could tell, like, from all your videos and your pictures on Instagram, dude, you're definitely that kind of dude that would be like you just have like that much more experience with that kind of like building. And when you mentioned that level editor, it makes like total sense, dude.
Mm.
If you're ever strapped for cash, dude, I guarantee you, you'd make thousands a build just selling your builds, man. Like one
That's
guy
true.
build a build
Yeah,
for you.
I know a lot of guys who are actually doing that right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm part of this build team called the Bakery, and it's just like a bunch of crazy Instagram builders, and a lot of them just sell their builds on Patreon.
Uh
It's a
huh.
crazy world we
It's
live in.
lucrative. Yeah. Yeah.
It's funny when they started talking all about metaverse and stuff like that, like, oh, in the future, like we're gonna buy things like digitally and stuff. I'm like, you're just talking about Minecraft, man. We've been doing this for 10 years.
Yeah, no doubt,
Yeah.
man. No doubt. And what kind of music do you enjoy?
Oh man, this one is a tough one because I'm actually one of those people who listens to everything. Like I feel like everybody says that, right? Or
Yeah.
like I feel like the stock answer is like anything but country music is like
Yeah.
90% of people. But like no, I if you look at my Spotify, I just like I'm a genre nerd, so I'll go down little rabbit holes. So like what I'll get into like post-punk Russian, like Soviet synth
Okay.
wave, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then like the next week I'm into like, psychedelic Southeast Asian music from the 60s and like I just
Okay.
go down little rabbit holes, but I mean the stuff I listen to the most is probably trap and hyperpop just because
That's awesome.
it's the new thing and it's where a lot of like the younger upcoming artists are and that's usually what I'm interested in is like what's new in music, you know?
Yeah, I saw you made like a little drill remix for
Yeah.
one of your
Yeah,
videos.
people.
That's cool.
I just like to surprise people. I've got some posters up here, up there. Neil Cicierega. He's like kind of like a famous internet memer, but he's like his whole sense of humor is going like way, way, way too far for a joke. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like putting
Yeah.
in way too much effort. He's like the guy who made Potter Puppet Pals, the
Oh,
Ultimate Showdown of Ultimate Destiny,
dude.
and like those
He
up
made
there. Those are his
that's one
albums
guy?
where he did like yeah, it's all that he's like a meme like god basically. He's had
Holy
so
cow.
many viral sensations over the years. And like his whole sense of humor is like going way too far for the sake of the bit, right? So like I try to do that in my videos. Like I'll do like a little skit that like just really shouldn't be there, but it's like
That's
it just
awesome.
sets you apart. I think people talk about that Mr. Beastification of YouTube, and there is a good amount of that in my videos, subtitles, fast cuts, and stuff.
Yeah,
I think it's fine as long as you're putting in a lot of your personality and making it different, so it's not just a formula. Take the parts of that formula that works, but also put in your own spin.
for sure, man. And speaking of Beast, who are your favorite creators? And like to make it a little bit more fun, you could give like your favorite Minecraft creators and then your favorite
Mm.
creators outside of Minecraft.
Oh, dude, this is so hard because I'm like the same way I listen to everything music wise. I watch everything on YouTube.
Oh,
I'm just a YouTube nerd. Like, so we talked about those craft videos. Like, I've been watching like Brickcraft, like this random Lego YouTuber.
uh huh,
I've been watching, the Wendover, real life lore, all the educational YouTubers.
yeah,
Uh, in terms of Minecraft, I mean, whenever people ask me my favorite Minecraft YouTuber, I just say Ethos Lab because he's like what made me want to make Minecraft videos. He was like the first one I ever saw. So he's got the nostalgia factor. But I mean, it's hard to pick a favorite creator in terms of new people because a lot of these people I like almost consider coworkers at this point.
yeah,
And I'm like, I'm almost not even like watching them as a fan. I'm watching them as like I don't know, like a businessman being like, "Wow, look at that cut he made there," and like, "Oh, the way
yeah,
he described the resource gathering was crazy there." Like, I'm
mhm,
thinking of it like on this like weird meta level. You
yeah.
know what I mean? So it's like almost different with Minecraft YouTubers now, but I don't know, man. I watch a little everything.
That's dope, man.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And a little bit goofy one. What's your favorite Minecraft update?
Oh, okay. Really unique answers coming from me for
Yeah,
this
the flat
because
world. Yeah.
the flat world angle. So like 1.18.2 is obviously one of the ones that's insanely legendary because it added in the strongholds, the pillager
Hmm.
outposts, the ruined portal, the mine shafts, and what makes it cool is like nothing else got updated. It was just like a tiny little tweak update. And so it was really only a cool update for Superflat. So I call it the Superflat update,
That's dope.
which had never happened. Every other update's the opposite. It's like it adds a bunch of stuff for the normal game, but not for Superflat. And this is the only one that ever added stuff for Superflat, but like not really the normal game. And
Hmm.
I was like, so that one's like kind of a favorite. But 1.16.1 was also really cool because not only was that the Nether update, but it introduced strongholds for the first time in Superflat, which it then got taken out and then added back in 1.18.2. It's a whole thing. But
Okay.
that was the first time I personally got to go to the end and like get an elytra and shulker boxes. And I had been playing for like years and years and had never used that stuff. When I just only saw people using it in videos, and
Hmm.
so finally like getting it for the first time, like in survival in my Superflat world was like mind blowing. It was crazy.
That is cool, man. That's awesome. And what's your favorite Minecraft mob? And on top of that, what's your favorite block?
Ooh, I mean, favorite mobs like I mean aesthetically the slime, like the slime's kind of
Uh-huh.
like the iconic guy is super flat
Yeah,
and
very
like my
super flat
channel.
answer. Yeah.
Yeah, so like I have like a neon sign of a slime. I wish I had it behind me right now, but I just got that for Christmas. Like it has to be the slime, right?
Hmm.
Even though like actually in the game they're really really annoying. Oh, what was the second part of the question? I'm sorry.
Favorite block.
Oh, favorite block. See, I've never been able to decide because like my whole like ethos, my like in like my like Bob Ross builder brain is like there's no bad blocks. Like people are
Mm,
always saying like, "Oh, like you can't build with like, birch or like there's like these weird blocks everybody hates diorite or like, there's weird blocks here and there that
yeah.
everybody's like, "Oh, I hate this block." And I'm like, "No, like every single block in the game is beautiful in the right context. Like it's all about choosing the right place." So like I don't know, my like weird cop out political answer is like my favorite block is like the one that's perfect for the situation I'm in,
Mm.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The one that like
Yeah.
completes the build that I'm working on in the moment. No, I've never been able to pick.
That's
I love them
sweet.
all.
Okay, fair enough, man. And I guess what do you see for your channel going for the future? Like, in terms of more content, different styles, where do you see your channel progressing from here?
Yeah. I mean, I'm taking January to sort of focus on shorts a little bit. Been trying to really get into the short stuff. I think it'll help and just be kind of like a fun way to mix things up. I'm gonna keep doing the flat world videos for like ever, probably.
Yeah.
Just like working on my single player world. So I'll probably do that forever. But then I usually have time for like one other side series. So like recently I've been doing the 100 days with my friend Hobby.
Yeah.
Um, and but I'm actually trying to like put together a multiplayer super flat server with like a bunch of other YouTubers just to see like what happens when you put a bunch of YouTubers on a super flat. So hopefully gonna try that out because I think that's probably like the one main thing that I haven't done on my channel in a long time is like a multiplayer kind of experience.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of a single player guy, so that would be fun to like interact with other people and bring that in the channel a little
Right.
bit. Yeah, I've got other ideas, but like probably not for 2023. We're like
Oh,
just
okay.
long term
Yeah.
stuff. Like
Awesome.
yeah,
That's really dope, man. And again, dude, congrats on everything. We're kind of winding down the interview. Actually, it feels like it flew by. You got
yeah.
any kind of
I love to
like,
talk. If you couldn't
yeah,
tell,
and which is good for interviews, man.
yeah, I could just talk and talk. It's the
Yeah,
streamer in me. I'm used to talking for 4 hours.
sweet. And if you got any kind of, I guess, endearing or positive message for anyone who may be watching, looking to either play super flat, make YouTube, or a fan of your content.
Yeah, dude. I mean, one of my favorite things, like the one of the things that keeps me going, with my channel is just hearing that people tried out super flat, or sometimes people comment that they haven't played the game in a long time, and I inspired them to start playing again, and they're having fun with it. That just like absolutely makes my day because like the number one thing I want to do is inspire people to like have fun with my favorite game. But more than that, just like to be creative. I think that's kind of like for me what Superflat's all about is like finding creative ways to solve this challenge, right? whether it's like whether you're a builder or a technical guy, everybody gets really creative with it. And I just care about art and I care about people being able to express themselves. So I just love seeing people be creative. And then on another positive note, I would just say that like, use my channel as an example just to keep following your dreams and don't give up. Like 10 years in, I wish I had the graph for you, but when I go to my YouTube studio and look at my subscribers over time, it is just a flat line for
Yeah, I saw the
10
social
years.
blade. Yeah.
For 10 years, man, and then
Ooh,
it just goes. And it's like just don't give up. Just keep picking away at your dreams and always try to be better and yeah, keep
that's
going.
awesome. Hey,
Yeah.
Mog, thank you so much for coming on to our show here
Yeah,
today.
dude.
I really
Thanks for
appreciate
having
it.
me.
And dude, you gave some really insightful, awesome answers about Superflat, Minecraft, YouTube as a whole, dude. And I wish you nothing but success, man. I'm not even playing. Like maybe by the time I upload the interview, that was a little bit of playful, but I sincerely think before like the halfway point of the year, you'll hit that million, man. Because
That'd be cool.
you you
My
got
birthday is right halfway my
okay,
birthday is in June, right at the halfway point.
yeah,
So if
man.
I can do it by then, that'd be sick.
I
Good
think you
birthday
got it.
present.
Yeah. So hey, thank you guys so much for watching. All of Mog's social links will be down in the description below. Super friendly guy. He's got his own Minecraft server too. And again, just one of the most creative guys. One of the guys with the most
Ah,
biggest rise in like Minecraft. Dude, keep an eye out for
stop
this
it.
guy. Yeah. All right. Hey, thank you so much, man.
Yeah, no, this is super fun, dude. Thanks so much.
Okay. Yep. Peace, guys.